This bustling town on the outskirts of Delhi is the starting point of one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects of our times. The Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor that is being built almost from scratch from Dadri to JNPT, parallel to the freight corridor. This promises to transform logistics, boost manufacturing and create 24 new cities. So we caught up with the man in charge of it, its CEO, Amitabh Kant, to find out what the real progress has been.
To my mind, the project has been fairly satisfactory. It's a difficult project. It's a complicated project. It's a project which cuts across several states. It's a project which deals with land, water, gas. All these are very, very complex issues in the context of India. But I think the project by itself has made very steady progress. The dedicated freight corridor which connects Delhi and Mumbai, that's a separate organization, but that's moved ahead. On the DMIC side, we did the perspective plan. We identified the 7 new cities which had to be done. We've finished the master planning of these cities, which normally takes about a decade in Indian context. We got these new cities through a very transparent process, notified by inviting objections. So they've been notified. We've been through the process of environmental clearance for this, and we've moved ahead very substantially with land acquisition. So to my mind, out of the 6 states that we deal with, 5 of the states have moved ahead very fast forward. 1 has been rather slow, and our objective is to bring that 6th state on. So UP has been a little slow, but I think they are now moving fast and they should catch up with the rest.
Okay, the most vocal problem and hurdles were in Maharashtra. Has that been solved, especially around land acquisition in Raigad?
We're dealing with Maharashtra in 2 areas. We're dealing in close to Aurangabad and Shendra, and we are dealing with Dighi port area, which is the Raigad area. On Shendra, Maharashtra has moved very ahead. In fact, they've almost taken over the first phase of that area. Raigad, there have been some issues, but I think the first phase of Dighi city is almost sorted out. So we are moving ahead with both Shendra and with Raigad together.
Let me take a step back. Now, as envisaged, DMIC would see the emergence of 24 cities. The 7 cities that you're talking about is the first leg.
Yes.
My question to you is that when you say it's been notified, land acquisition has been okayed, environment clearances are there, and the master plan is ready, at what stage is this? Is anything being built over there, or are now private parties going to be invited to be partners in the PPP model?
Okay. You know, when projects of this magnitude are conceptualized, it's very important that large projects of this nature are broken up and done into doable components. I mean, that's the task of a chief executive. Really break it up into doable components. And when you break it up, so we broke up this large corridor from Delhi to Mumbai. Many people have this feeling and perspective that actually we're building all this between Delhi and Mumbai. No. There's a train which will run between Delhi and Mumbai, and actually 74% of the goods today move by road. And all these goods will move by this container train, and actually this will really put containers within 14 hours into the ports on the western coast of India.
Sure.
So both sides of this, we are creating new manufacturing cities. The original mandate was 24. We broke it up into 7. We finished the planning of 7. From the 7, we did the integrated plan, and then we broke it up into what is the trunk infrastructure. So when you create a city, you have to do the drainage, the sewage, the solid waste, the internal roads. All that, to my mind, is commercially non-doable. And this is a process which will take about close to 18 months, creating the backbone of the cities. And once these are created, then the remaining projects will be on the PPP basis.
While DMIC has big ambitions, the fact is that it was an idea thought up in the good times between 2007 and 2008, at a time when India was the flavor and infrastructure the focus. Since then, things have gone downhill, and this project is up against a lot, especially the need for private partners and money. Each of the new cities envisaged along the route will cost 35 to 40,000 crore rupees, and this will have to mostly come from the cash-strapped private companies. But Amitabh believes that this will not be difficult.
To my mind, every project in India which is well structured and adequately de-risked, that means that if the government has done its homework of getting the land, getting all the necessary approvals, getting environmental clearances, housed in that SPV, and then puts it out to bidding, I've rarely come across a project which has not attracted good private sector enthusiastic bids. So what we do is we form an SPV, we take about close to 40-45 clearances, we go to the Ministry of Environment, take the environmental clearances, we go through public hearing, we do all that bit and put all those approvals in the SPV. So we are actually adding about 35 to 40% of the value of the project into that SPV before we put it out.
But so you're confident of getting private participation?
I'm absolutely confident.
And have you got anything on the table right now in terms of
we are doing several projects. We're actually doing Asia's biggest desalination project, which Hitachi and Hyflux are doing in Dahej, which is industrialized very rapidly, but faces a very severe water problem. We are doing two very innovative projects with Toshiba and Kansai in Nimarana and in Manesa for smart technology. We are doing a logistic data bank with Hitachi. We're doing several very innovative, cutting-edge technology.
Okay. Amitabh, let me get to the criticism that DMIC is faced. DMIC is being criticized, saying that it's too ambitious.
Yeah.
Okay, it comes in a tough time, and a lot of these investments that you're talking about is really about Japanese companies coming in and really putting their investment in because of the connection, the umbilical cord that connects the DMIC with Japan. Okay. We don't hear of enough Indian companies, big Indian companies participating.
A project of this nature is back-ended. Many of these projects actually require long-term lending at reasonable rates because they break even in 12 years, 13 years in several of these projects. But once they break even, they derive a huge amount of revenue, and therefore you require long-term lending at very reasonable rates. And the country which is actually adequately equipped to provide this kind of lending for infrastructure projects, and also to bring in cutting-edge technology for infrastructure and enable India to make a quantum jump in technologically, because we've been a very reluctant and a late urbanizer, is Japan. And therefore, several of these Japanese companies are working with us on smart city projects. But Indian companies, I have no doubt in my mind that all Indian companies will get in when we do the project. The timeline is 2019. We will give you the first phase of 7 new cities by 2019. But the important thing is that we must get the detailed engineering all completed by 2014 end. And then allow 3.5 years for the trunk infrastructure. Yeah.
If all goes by plan, the first 7 cities will be ready to be rolled out by 2019. And Kant insists that this time will be crucial. There are no quick fixes for a project this large. But the DMIC is also up against a lot. Will it really find private partners or even the land it needs to build up? More on that when we return.